Hello, fellow Hyrulians! I am your guide, the Hyrule Historian, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Hyrule Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Now, today we are continuing our journey to Hyrule Castle to meet the beautiful Princess Zelda. And on the way, I have a few things to actually talk about here about Hyrule Castle. Although before we can actually get into everything, we have to talk to our good friend Kaepora Kabora, which is once again waiting for us to tell us that we of course have to go a little bit farther to see Princess Zelda. And as I've just mentioned, he is just telling us Princess Zelda is in the castle just ahead. Which I don't think I've really seen any other castles between the Lost Woods and Hyrule Castle Town. Besides that, he's just telling us a small game mechanic that talks about the time moving when you're in Hyrule Field or outside of Hyrule Castle, but doesn't move while in Hyrule Castle Town or Lon Lon Ranch. So, okay, that's just a trick right there, so no, I don't want to hear what you said again. Yes, thank you. Goodbye. And now there is still one last thing we need to do, since to get to Hyrule Castle, this gate is blocking our way, and this guard will most likely not let us pass. But thankfully, while in Hyrule Castle Town, we talked to two guys who mentioned how to get past the guards. But before we can do any of that, we must return to Hyrule Castle Town just to actually let Malon arrive here, where we can get a chicken to wake up Talon. And here's Malon. Yes, I will help you find your dad. Although I'm still guessing he's taking a nap. And now we will receive an egg, although I'm wondering how she's been taking care of it. I mean, something else about this is that once this hatches, I believe it's instantly a rooster. And it skips a stage of life. But there is still the one thing that I wanted to talk about, and that is Hyrule Castle also has its own theory, which some people believe that Hyrule Castle actually stays in the same location from Minish Cap until the end of the other timelines, except for the one from Spirit Tracks, which people still acknowledges that Hyrule Castle, there's a new Hyrule Castle in Spirit Tracks, although the old Hyrule Castle is still at the bottom of the sea. Although Now this thing right here is something else. Since in the last session I talked about there would be 13 seconds equals an hour. And well, this right here actually tells you the current time. So if I'm correct about what I mentioned in the last session, so we just have to wait 13 seconds to get 1814. And that should be around 13 seconds. Slightly off. So okay, let's take it from here. So it seems I am slightly off by probably a second or so. Although it's not much more to worry about. But that still kind of gives you an idea of how the time works within Ocarina of Time. Also, something else to keep in mind is the gossip stones over here. If you slash it with a sword, it will also tell you the time, but within the military time. While this, on the other hand, okay, also military time. But anyways, it is time to make our way to Hyrule Castle. That's one way to actually get down, but we must make it past the guards. But as you can see past there, this is actually where the Great Fairy of Power is, I believe. Although they mark it as a dead end, where other people will not actually mess with the Great Fairy Fountain. So now let's see if we can actually make it past here. Need to kind of go quick since already reaching morning. I am not sure why Link still has his sword out. I'm not planning on fighting any of the guards, although now it is morning and we have a rooster. A full-grown rooster hatching from an egg. There's something to actually think about. So, it's just morning. Let's see what time it is. It's 7:33 in the morning. Time moves pretty fast. Although now, keeping up with the theory that I mentioned earlier, some people believe Hyrule Castle has actually changed locations since from Minish Cap. Although, for me, if I truly look at the maps, Minish Cap, along with the map from Oracle of Seasons, which it takes place in Holodrum, in the Downfall timeline, those two locations actually matches up more. And to my knowledge, the events with Devati actually changes Hyrule Castle during that era. And we will actually find out what happens in this era, because this is when Ganondorf actually tries to take over. So now if we listen to what that man has to say, we can swim through the moat without getting caught here, while actually picking up some rupees. I'm wondering if there's a certain reason why guards have been dropping rupees into the moat, and why there isn't really anything anyone guarding the moat. So now if we make it our way over here, we can actually find Talon, which is sleeping on the job. Yep. He's dreaming about work, it seems. So, it's about evening, and we can go ahead and wake him up. He's been sleeping all day. And here's the best part of this. What in tarnations? Who woke me up? Can a person get a little shut-eye around here? Sorry, Talon, you're not on the ranch. Hello, and who might you be? Yep, I'm Talon, the owner of Lon Lon Ranch. I went to Hyrule Castle to deliver some milk, but I sat down here to rest and I guess I fell asleep. What? Malon was looking for me? I'm gonna catch it from her now. I messed up bad, leaving Malon behind to wait for me. She's really gonna let me have it. And now the only thing for us to do is to actually push the crate of milk into the moat. Because then we can actually make it into this section right here where we can actually make it into the garden section. And there's actually a few things that's there that I wish to talk about, although we may actually have to wait till morning, so I'm probably going to skip ahead just to let some time pass, since there will be some guards waiting for us if we go in. Probably need to switch that. But yeah. You know though, just for the sake of doing this, this is pretty much what's going to happen. We have 2 guards waiting for us, and there will be no way around them. And what's interesting, hello. Instead of throwing us all the way out of Hyrule Castle, these guards are nice enough to drop us out from this door. So I'm going to let some time pass, and we will be on our way.